Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video. Today I'm gonna talk about how to trace functions with Frida Trace on Android applications. For this example, I'm gonna show everything on injured Android application because we were working on this application for quite some time now. We are familiar with it and we will see how everything actually works and how we can trace, for example, when we click on a button, what does the button do? So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. But before showing you how to do the Frida Trace thing, I'm gonna show you another one pretty cool example of how can you root your Android phone, Android emulator, and how can you quickly set up Frida on it. So if we were to go to a browser and type in root avd, here is this pretty cool repository on GitLab. If you go to this GitLab repository, I'm just gonna go back to root avd. Here we can see that there is this repository which lets you very easily root Android phones. So I'm just gonna git clone this, git clone root avd. Let's wait for it to clone here. It's gonna take just a second. And then we will be able to root this Android device. As you can see, it has all the Google Play services, Google Play Store and everything. It's just a fresh emulator. As you can see, medium phone right here. You can just create a new fresh emulator. It is running Android 16. And let me just go back to the running devices. Now let me just go to the root avd directory here and then run, first of all, is there anything like requirements? I don't think so. So I'm just gonna run root avd and then we can see all of the examples of how to run it. So first of all, we have to list all the avds. So do list all avds like that, and then we can see that there is this Android 35, because I think I'm running Android 35, I believe. Let me actually just double check, or Android 34. Let's see, Android 36. I'm sorry. Okay, and so we just have to copy this command from Android 36. I can see that there is this Android 36 string here, so I just need to copy this and then paste it and then wait a little bit here, and then your phone is going to restart. And then we will first of all just click on enter. It's fine, or we can just choose stable for the latest Magisk version. And then let's wait for it to actually finish. Then let's launch the phone again. Let's wait for it to stop running and then launch it again. And then our phone is going to be rooted with Magisk. The next thing that we're gonna do is install Frida server, which is very easy with Magisk because you can just go to the internet and type it Magisk Frida server module like that. And then we can see that there is this Magisk Frida module here. So let me just copy this repository, go back to the phone, let's wait for it to finish starting. And then really quickly, I'm just gonna show you how to install this this Frida server to your phone. And then we are gonna start tracing applications with Frida Trace. It's fine. Let me just wait or close the app. I'm not sure. Let's just wait a little bit. I hope it doesn't crash. Come on. All right. We are now on the phone, and if we go here, we can see Magisk is installed. So let me just click on Magisk to see if everything is running fine. It says additional setup is required. I'm just gonna click OK, and it will reboot once again. So I'm just gonna stop the video and wait for it to finish rebooting. And now we can see that everything is done. Let me just click on Magisk icon here, and then we can see that Magisk is successfully installed with the latest version 29. Magisk version is 26.4, but it's fine. And now let me just install this module. I will go to Chrome browser, and then I am just gonna make sure I copy the link. Use without an account, it's fine. Let me just no thanks. Got it. And then I'm just gonna type the URL in. Let me just paste it and then go, cancel, go. Then scroll down to the releases tab, all the way down here, releases. You can see the latest version. It's updated very frequently. And then download. Let me just close the application here. go to Magisk and then install from storage. Then go to downloads. And then is it finished installing? Yep, we can see Magisk Frida here. Click on it, click OK. And just like that, our Frida server is running on the device. It is going to ask you to restart your device. I'm gonna restart it, and then I'm gonna come back once it's done restarting again. Great, now my device has restarted, so let me just go back to Magisk here, and then let's wait for it to load. After it loads, go to modules, and then we can see that our Magisk Frida server is running. And we can see that it is running because it says run Frida server on boot active. If it doesn't say that it is running, there should be a button here, an action button to enable it. But now if we were to go to our terminal and then type in adb shell, we can go to root, su, and then go back here and grant permission to adb to run as root. And we can see that we are running as root. That's the first thing, and then to test out Frida, we can do Frida ps-u for USB, and then we can see that Frida is running because we can list all of the services running on the device. Now let me just really quickly install Injured Android by going back one directory because I have it installed here, and adb install Injured Android like that. Success, and we can see that Injured Android has successfully installed to the mobile device. And now let's just begin tracing the applications, functions, and everything like that. Alright, now that we have our Injured Android application up and running, we can start tracing functions with Frida. So to do that, we are gonna launch the application, and we can see by closing the app and, for example, holding on it, I'm going to app info, that it is called Injured Android. That's one way of finding out app's name. You can also just start the application using -f and then the package name. Our package name would be, I believe, binac Injured Android, like that, in Frida trace, but we can also just do it like this. So Frida trace, Frida trace -u Injured Android, and then click on enter. When we first launch Frida trace, we can see that it says starting to trace 0 functions, web UI is available here. We're not going to use the web UI, we are only going to use the terminal output here, and we can see that it is tracing 0 functions. Why is that? It's because we haven't specified for Frida what it should actually trace. Let me just close everything here. I'm gonna open it later. Here I am on the Injured Android application open in Jarix. So first of all, what I'm gonna do is go to the main activity. So if we click on this little house here, we can go to the main activity. The first thing that we will need for Frida trace is going to be the package name. So let me just select this package name, and then let's go back to our terminal and then stop this Frida trace running right here. I'm gonna type Frida trace again, and then I'm gonna specify -j, and it is going to be the options for Frida trace to trace. So these are going to be just Java calls. Alright, so the syntax for Frida trace is relatively easy to understand. So the first thing is going to be the class name. So let's specify it in these single quotes, right? So Frida trace uses this syntax, and this looks pretty weird, but what is it saying is there is going to be the class name or the package name. Then this is like the separator, exclamation point, and then these are going to be function names. So let's start by tracing the main function. So one thing that I'm gonna do here is going to be wrong, but we are gonna fix it later. So let me just copy this package name, binac Injured Android, and then paste it here, and then I'm gonna just say it to Frida. We are going to trace everything under the package binac Injured Android, and then everything that comes after it, and then every single function here that binac Injured Android is going to execute. And then let's click on enter, and we can see that Frida actually gave us some output here, and it says that it started to trace 25 different functions. Let's go back to our application, and then let's, for example, pick flag 6. If I'm gonna click on this button here, we can see that it successfully opens, but on Frida trace output, we can see the function that has been called. This is very useful when your application is relatively large, and then you do not really know where to go, where to find all the buttons, and you only want, for example, to trace one button or one function that the application is performing. This way you are going to find it really easily. So we can see that the function that was called is under main activity class, and it was the go to flag 6 login activity function. Let's go to the application source code and let's find the go to flag 6 activity here. I'm just gonna search for it, flag 6, like that, and we can see that there's this function go to flag 6 login activity, and it is starting a new activity which is going to be intent of flag 6 login activity class. Let me just control click on this flag 6 login activity class, and we can see that we are being thrown into this flag 6 login activity that we can see on this window here. So let's try to trace what this button does right here. We know from the previous videos that it is going to just execute this function on click, and then we will get some hints. So let's click on this button and see what Frida trace says to us about this button. If we were to go back, we can see that nothing has appeared. And why is that? This is because we are calling a little bit, we started Frida trace a little bit wrongly, but I'm gonna show you how we can fix that. But before that, let me just delete everything right from here. And the thing that we know is that we are now on flag 6 login activity, right? So we can just actually copy this flag 6 login activity here, and then go to the function tab, right? And we just want a function that has flag 6 login activity here, and then just start. So start from both sides, and then just click on enter, and we can see that we're tracing one function. I believe that's wrong. I think we need to specify flag 6 login activity in front. So let me just do it like that. We can see we are tracing 7 functions here. Let's click on this hint, and then we can see that we have this on click. So why didn't it work previously when we were trying to trace with BNAC injured Android? It's because we didn't have this star right here, because we were just ignoring everything that came before the BNAC injured Android, and probably the flag 6 login activity comes before that. So let me just enter again, and we can see that we're tracing a little bit more functions here, 39 this time instead of 25 previously. And if we click on this button here, we can see classes, and this is the code that has been called. So we can see that we called on click function here. We have passed a view to this function, and then we called three more functions here. One was f, another one was f, and then the last one was g. If we go to the application source code and then we control click on this f, we can see that it just returns this w. We would need to do a little bit more analysis here, but to just tell everything shortly what it does, it just calls an f and it returns 1 or a 0. If we were to click again on it, we can see the output is keys, and then we can see that the output of flag 6 login activity f is 0. And then if we go to the source code of the application, we can see that if flag 6 login activity f is equal to 0, we are getting keys, and if it is equal to 1, we are getting classes. And because the application, we can see that it returns 0, we have gotten this keys output here. And if it returns 1, if I click on it again, we can see because g was called with the argument 1, we can see that it set the f function to 1, or that w thing that we have here. So that's basically what these functions do. They just return 1 or 0, and based on that, the application gives us an output. This is very simple, but if you are working on a bigger application, it is going to benefit us at a lot of stuff to like trace all the functions, and it is going to make our lives way much easier. I'm talking from experience. It's very easy to trace functions like that. So yeah, the next thing that I want to show you, let's actually try to solve this flag6 login activity. If we scroll down here, we have solved this in a previous video. It is pretty easy. It's just calling a function with the string and it's decoding the string. But we can really easily solve this with Frida trace. Because we are tracing all of the functions of the application, if we would just enter any flag, we would maybe see the output that is being returned from this a function here, and this a function is probably going to decode, because right here we can see, let's just control click on this a function, we can see that it's basically just returning if object is equal to null, set this to null. And if it is not null, then we are checking if object is equal to object2, and these are basically just two strings that we have passed in right here. This is the first string and this is the second string. The first string is the string that we enter to the application, and the second string is the one that is being decoded by calling the function a. And then if it is successful, we are going to start this success intent, and we are going to get the flag. So let me just click on submit here, and then we can see that nothing happened and the application actually just crashed. So let me just try to trace it once again. Am I tracing it correctly? I see only 25 functions, maybe it's fine. Let me click on this flag6 activity. Let me just make sure it doesn't work actually. I'm just gonna trace it again because we were not on the flag6 activity, we were not tracing all the functions. So let me just try it again, and we can see that it is working here. So let me just enter a flag and then click on submit. Nothing happened. I'm not sure why it is actually crashing. It shouldn't crash. Let me just pause the video and make sure that everything is working correctly. Alright, so I have restarted the emulator, so let's now actually try to trace everything. So let me just launch this, and we can actually see that it is tracing even more functions. We are tracing now 45 functions. So if something is not working for you, just try restarting the emulator or restarting the application at least. So if we would click on the submit button here, we can see that submit flag function was called, and then we can see that this a function was called, c function was called, true was returned for function c, and then for function a, this string was returned. And if this string was returned for function a, and we are checking if these are the equal strings, that means that the password, which is encrypted here, is this isn't where I park my car. So if I would just copy this string here and then paste it here and click on submit, we can see that we have found the flag. So it is pretty cool how we can just easily intercept all the functions and trace everything and just see what happens on the application. But the thing, so I'm just gonna now explain how it actually works. So if we just look at this a function here, we can see that this a function is first of all seeing if if this is true, and if we would click on the c function, we can see that it is checking if the string isn't empty and if it is decodable. If it decoded successfully, then we are executing this decryption blob that we see on function a, this blob here, and then we can see that it is returning the string that was decoded from this one right here. So that's pretty cool. And the last thing that I want to show you, we are basically done with all of the functions. But let's actually just try to trace the submit flag function, because I haven't showed that yet. So if we would delete this class name, and I'm gonna trace literally everything, every single package, every single class, but then I'm gonna trace for only the submit flag function here, and then we can see that we are tracing one function, which is submit flag. And then if we would submit anything right here, we can see that this function was called. So if you only want to trace only one like function, then this is the method to do that. And the last thing that I want to show you is if we would go back a little bit and then go to the assembly activity, we have solved this activity in the previous video, but if we would go to this activity on the Jarix GUI application and we would scroll down until we see this this static basically system loading the library of native lib, we can see that the flag is being retrieved from the native lib library. So if we scroll down to resources and then click on, it's actually here, I think. No, I'm sorry. Oh, it's under the resources tab, lib, and then I'm gonna choose x8664, and then just we can see this libnative lib.so, which is being called here. So I'm just gonna click on export to easily copy from here, and then to trace everything that is coming from these libraries, you can use -I parameter with libnative.so, and I'm just gonna trace for the bnac injured Android package here. So star bnac injured Android star, and then click on enter. We can see that we are actually starting to trace 173 functions here. We can see that there are a couple of bugs, and we can just ignore them for now. But this application is actually just filling us with this some blank stuff. I'm not sure if that's going to interfere with us, but we can see that there are just all of this output that we don't really want to see, and some libraries just I think this application is just throwing stuff out so we cannot just easily solve this challenge, but we are just gonna try it anyway. I'm just gonna submit test and click on submit, and we can see it's actually flying and there's a lot of output. So I'm not sure if we are gonna find the flag here, but I just wanted to show you that we can trace the libraries. I'm just gonna try to scroll a little bit up here to try to find the flag, but I don't think that we're gonna find it because the application is just throwing random stuff out. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something new. Try this method on your applications that you are hacking or doing anything with to basically just trace the functions, and it is a really nice tool that you should use. So as we can see, I haven't found anything. If we probably would save this to a file and then I would sort it, we could find the flag, but I'm not gonna do that because on actual real-world applications this is probably not going to happen. If it does, just try to save the output to the file and then filter out these symbols. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. I just wanted to show you how Frida Trace works, and then I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.